Hey guys, it's Shelby, and this is Hazel Vanity Isabel Bannister, and this is my induction and labor and delivery story. And I had to get induced because I was 7 days past my due date. When I went to the hospital to get induced, I was about 41 weeks, and I got induced August 4th at I had to be at the hospital at 8, so we left at 7:30 and got to the hospital at 8. And when I got to the hospital, they took me to my room and told me to get my robe on and put my stuff in the little cabinet. And then they asked me a whole bunch of questions and told me that they didn't know exactly what my OB wanted them to do, so they had to wait to induce me until they knew exactly what he wanted. So at 8:30, they took my blood work and they took 4 tubes of blood. And at 9:12, they started me on the fetal monitor, and that's just what connects to your uterus and it measures your uterus and it keeps track of the baby's heartbeat to make sure she's okay. And by this time, I knew what she was gonna do. My OB told me that they wanted to start me on oxytocin, but they had to give me an IV shot of fluid just before they started giving me the oxytocin. At 10 a.m., that's when they gave me the oxytocin, and they just gave it to me through my IV. At 10:10 a.m., I was 5 centimeters dilated, and Dr. Singh, my OB, came in and broke my water, and it kind of hurt. It was just when he was checking dilation. The dilation, it didn't hurt when he was breaking my water, but I think what he did, he took like a hook, like a little curved hook, and stuck it in and broke my water, and all I felt was this big rush of goo, like a big gush of water, really warm water. And not long after that, I got my first contraction, which was at 10:38 a.m. And so I have everything written down on a pad and paper. At 11:02 a.m., that's when the contractions started to get worse. And at 12:16 a.m., I got the spinal block and epidural combined. And what they did is they put a couple needles in my back, and the spinal block looked like that. And after about maybe 3 minutes, I could feel my legs, but they were just really tingly, and I couldn't feel any of the contractions at all. And at 12:45, they placed a catheter in me, and that just drained out my bladder, because when you have the epidural or the spinal block, you don't feel the urge to use the bathroom at all. So the catheter just just empties your bladder so you don't pee yourself, I guess. At about 2:10 p.m., I was dilated to 6 centimeters, and at 2:22 p.m., I got more of my medicine, and the reason I had to get more is because it only was supposed to last a certain amount of time, but then he said that the epidural would have kicked in, so that didn't work, and they're only supposed to give you like 4 doses, and I was almost at my 4 by the end. So at 2:38, I got my 3rd dose of pain medication, and I had no clue why it wasn't working, because when I first got it, it felt so good, and I didn't feel any pain, and then after a while, I was just, how can it not work anymore? And then at 3 o'clock, I think, I found out why it wasn't working, and I guess in an hour from when I was 6 centimeters, which was at 2:10 p.m. and at 3 o'clock I was dilated fully. So I dilated from 6 to 10 centimeters like that. And I think that was pretty quick, but I don't know. And at 3:01 I started pushing, and at 3:32 Hazel was born. So I only had to push for about half an hour, and it only took 20 pushes to get her out. But at the end of it, they told me to push. They told me to push slowly, because I guess she was coming out with her shoulders turned like that instead of like flat down. So she would have ended up coming out like, I think like that. She would have split me. And I only had to get 3 stitches on the inside. And my labor lasted a total of 5 hours. And I only had to spend about 2 days in the hospital. And Hazel weighed 7 pounds and 4 ounces, but she lost about a pound because she wasn't eating. She was actually, before we left the hospital, she was starving because my breast milk isn't producing enough sugar to fill her up. Well, the colostrum, that pre-breast milk, wasn't filling up and producing enough sugar to fill her up, but now it is. So she lost it, and then I got the public health nurse. The public health nurse came in today and weighed her, and she is 7 pounds and 2 ounces. So she's almost back to her birth weight, which is good. Her head was a little over 12 inches in circumference, and she was 21 inches long. And then at 3:54 p.m. I fed her for the very first time, and I found it funny because I don't really cry that much. I cry. It just takes a lot to make me cry, and I bawled when I seen this little princess, and I don't regret it at all. Even though she caused me a lot of pain, I don't regret her at all. She's adorable. And I guess I am considered lucky because my nurse told me that it usually takes about an hour for first timers to push their babies out, and I only pushed for a half hour.
Let's talk. Kids Help Phone. Anonymous.
Sorry. So that was my labor and delivery story. I will do a postpartum one of me and her after the first week, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and ask questions. I'm going to be doing a question and answer video in about maybe around next month, so you can ask me more questions about Hazel, because there's not really much to tell about her right just yet, except for I'll be explaining everything about her in her postpartum video and mine. And so just ask me questions. I'll be putting up a video closer to that day, closer to the time I'm going to make it, and so just make sure you ask questions to my phone springs, and it's Teen Mommy 20121, and follow me on Facebook, and it's Teen Mommy 20121, and Twitter is Hazel's Mommy 2012. And thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.